Ringside about earlier this evening, Andy Lee of Ireland on the Olympic team taking on Arturo Ortega. And Wally would take a look at some key numbers leading into this fight. The head-to-head for these two, Lee and Ortega.
Most significant one, as you'll see, is the height. Andy Lee, 6'2", is a middleweight, a great advantage for him. Ortega, more conventional size, 5'7".
Lee 6-0 with 3 knockouts. Ortega 12-2-3 with 7 knockouts. Lee won the first 2 rounds, and now we pick things up with the start of round number 3 between Lee and Ortega. Round number 3 begins for Andy Lee of Ireland in the red, fighting out of Detroit, and Arturo Ortega in black. Listen to Emmanuel Stewart in between rounds 2 and 3. Wants a little bit more effectiveness. Well, we're having some problems with the tape there from round number 3. In round number 3, Lee would land 32 of 56. Ortega 11 of 41, and Andy Lee would win round number 3 of that fight.
And he's a good-looking prospect. We've talked to Emmanuel Stewart about him several times. He's been on a couple of our undercards so far, and Emmanuel is as high on this kid as I've ever heard him, after only 6 pro fights. I mean, he talks about Andy Lee as if he'll be the next Marvin Hagler.
All right, so once again, Lee and Ortega. Now we've got the tape situation straightened out. Here's round 3. Round number 3 begins for Andy Lee of Ireland in the red, fighting out of Detroit, and Arturo Ortega in the black. Listen to Emmanuel Stewart in between rounds 2 and 3. Wants to see a little bit more effectiveness with the jab.
Yes, and you know what? And right away, Andy Lee started to fight the fight again that Emmanuel doesn't want him to fight, which is in close. Ortega's difficult to fight. Not really an unorthodox guy, but a guy who keeps on coming. Has the ability to get under some of the punches of Andy Lee.
See the punch numbers through the first 2 rounds. Lee has hit on a nice percentage, over 50% of his power punches. 18 of 44 through the first 2 rounds.
See, when he uses his jab and places it at the right times before Ortega can make his move forward, it's very easy for him to keep this guy at bay because of the physical advantages that he has. But too often he allows him to come in after jabbing in. He doesn't follow up with the left hand. He allows Ortega to come in and land a couple of shots. So right there, that little bit of hesitation is when you have to hit Ortega with that jab. Fellas. Right there, right there.
Lee wearing the Kronk colors, kind of a sad time for the Kronk gym.
Right, as boxing fans, most boxing fans know, I guess the original Kronk gym in Detroit was closed down by the city recently, and fighters are actually training in a subsidiary of the gym in Dearborn, Michigan. And if you follow the great fighters that came out of the Kronk gym, of course, Tommy Hearns. Whoa.
Nice combination by Lee, backs up Ortega.
That right hand is doing a lot of damage.
Ortega has never been stopped in his career. His 2 losses were decisions.
He just landed a pretty good counter right.
He did.
He's a tough guy. He's not going anywhere that easy.
They need about $1 million to keep the Kronk gym fixed up. And we're talking with Richard Sloan, who works with Emmanuel Stewart. He said supposedly there were a couple of benefits, but the Kronk people have never seen the money.
We've heard stories like that before, and he actually says the Attorney General is looking into it in Detroit, so maybe we'll hear more about that. But as of now, the Kronk gym, spawning ground of a lot of champions, is closed.
Well, in round number 3, Arturo Ortega got staggered by Lee. That's a push. That is not a knockdown.
Push. That was a push.
And Kenny Bayless, our referee, lets everybody know that was a push, but a good round for Andy Lee as he hurt Ortega.
You could make a case for a 10-8 round in that one.
Yeah, I don't think it was that dominant.
All right.
Let's take a look, Wally, at some of the action from Andy Lee.
And that's most of the action came from Andy Lee. There's that right hook again, which has been the dominant punch of the fight. But again, the left cross gets in there, and he really digs the left to the body. There was one point there where he caught a counter right hand from Ortega. Otherwise, most of the damaging punches, in fact, I would say 3/4 of them coming from Lee. You could see there that was clearly a push at the end of the round.
You know, Emmanuel Stewart asked for some more jabs from Lee. Lee was better in that round. He was 12 of 20 with his jab in that round, according to CompuBox. We start the 4th round, scheduled for 6. Andy Lee controlling Arturo Ortega. What would you like to see Lee do more of here, Wally?
Well, I think, you know, you can't go against what Emmanuel Stewart wants. If he wants more jabs, I want more jabs. When just looking at these two fighters, this is a really difficult assignment for Ortega, even though he is the far more experienced guy. His body type is really not suited for this weight class. Do you realize he has fought as high as 181 pounds? Probably better off trimming down to welterweight because he's short. And he's having a terrible time getting inside Andy Lee.
That was back in 03. When he only fought once that year. For the most part, over the last year and a half, he's fought, you know, in the low 160s.
Yeah, but I still think that he's a weight class too high.
Yeah, 5'7".
Yeah, it makes it real difficult to fight a 6'2" guy like Andy Lee.
Another interesting.
Yes, he does. Those were two terrific left hands to the body by Andy Lee.
Don't push, stop! Let him go. Don't push it. There you go.
Now, I mentioned before, Bob, we've seen Andy Lee on several of our undercards. Plus, I caught him on an undercard at Madison Square Garden fight back in November. And I definitely see improvement. I think he's more under control in his fights. I mean, clearly we saw him against Cockerham, who was almost impossible to look good against. But he certainly has looked more seasoned every time out. Clearly, also, he has things to learn.
A little low there. Again, the lead. The one thing he does do occasionally, what Emmanuel Stewart warned him of, is he's kind of crouching down and getting to his opponent's height, which is negating his advantage. When he stands tall like this and works that jab, Ortega's got no shot.
Right. You don't want to make yourself the same height as Ortega because you're taking away your advantage. Plus, he does have a tendency to lunge a little bit, and I think that's in his eagerness. He's very young, wants to score KOs, and in his eagerness, he sometimes lunges in and puts himself at a little bit of risk. So right there, he's getting hit with some punches he probably shouldn't get hit with, only because Ortega really should not be able to get that close to him.
I see Lee started to crouch and then realized, oh, I better stand up a little bit.
Yeah, he basically is giving away 6 inches, giving it right back to Ortega.
We roll to the end of the 4th. Andy Lee and Arturo Ortega in a scheduled 6-rounder here on Fight Night on Versus.
Stop at home. We'll be out in a minute.
Round 5. Round 5.
Round 5 underway for Andy Lee and Arturo Ortega. No knockdowns in the fight, although Ortega was hurt a couple of rounds ago. And Emmanuel Stewart continued to re-emphasize what we've talked about, Wally, in between rounds to Lee.
Yeah, but the interesting thing to me was how calmly Emmanuel Stewart was talking to Andy Lee in the corner. He said, look, this guy's taking a lot of punches. This is why they put him in here with you. They want to see what you got. You've shown them what you got. Don't worry about knocking him out. He does take a good shot. And I mean, you know, Emmanuel Stewart has been in some of the most nerve-wracking pressure cooker situations in the history of boxing. It's just really cool to see him in this kind of a situation where he can talk calmly to his fighter. It's almost like they're having a gym workout.
He said, you look classy when you stay tall, and you can use your height, and when you crouch down, you're just creating a couple opportunities for him.
course, Emmanuel Stewart was, I think, just about as relaxed there during the Hagler-Hearns fight and the Leonard-Hearns fight. That's just the way he is.
Pretty measured.
Yeah, well, you don't want to show the fighter that you're panicking.
Right.
You know, it's the best way to cause the fighter to panic.
Look out.
Protect yourself at all times.
Yeah, it's the last thing they tell you. You know, not to take anything away from Ortega, but he is a tough guy. He just got hit with some hellacious shots.
He's a Marine, Wally.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Sure no one messes with him over at News Channel 3 in Phoenix.
I hope not.
Nice hook to the body by Lee.
Right now, Lee's doing everything well. Really, technically perfect punches for the most part. You know, with the tendency to lunge notwithstanding, his punches are really well placed, snappy. And quite frankly, he doesn't really have all that much reason not to just go after Ortega. Ortega hasn't really landed all that many punches.
Lee has won every round of my scorecard, but this is, you know, from top to bottom, his most impressive round, I think.
Yeah, you know, this or the third, I should say the second. I thought he did really well in the second.
The body shot again by Lee. Ortega just running out of steam as the bell rings to end round number 5.
The referee was about on the verge of stopping you. He was getting close. He was looking for any reason to pull in there, and he was about to stop it. So you can take your break. You can finish up where you left off. Yeah, stop the fight. You're going to have to stop it.
Emmanuel Stewart talks in the corner like he's in a library.
And Jaden was calling him, and he was shooting right through it. And he has no defense for him at all. You can dig down this round here. They're going to have to stop the fight. You can't let him take too much more.
It does work as a commentator, too.
He's very good at it.
You control it. You're doing good. Just control your
You know what? When you look at these replays, you're going to see why Emmanuel Stewart is so calm in the corner. There's a right-left by Lee. Keeps his man in the corner, and then he follows it with a left-right. I mean, everything's sharp, everything's straight. Ortega runs into the left hand there. I think we're going to see a good body punch here. Yep. I mean, really, how excited can the trainer get, except, you know, the excitement of joy?
Good luck.
Of the 43 punches landed by Lee in the round, 34 were power shots. Through a fight-high 76 punches, and you heard Emmanuel Stewart tell him, if you pick up the next round where you finish the last round, the referee is going to stop it.
Oh, now there's a place where I might disagree, although it looks like Ortega's on his way out here. I think he wants to stick it out.
Yeah, the corner of Ortega. I think they're going to throw it in the towel.
Stop, that's it.
Well,
Clement Vieira, who works with Ortega, said enough. My guy's taking punishment, and Andy Lee stops him in the 6th round. And there is Clement Vieira.
And once again, my timing is impeccable.
I think it was a good job by the corner.
Absolutely the right time, but I think if it was up to Ortega, they'd still be fighting.
Well, he's a tough guy.
Yes, he is.
So Andy Lee gets win number 7 and his 4th stoppage. Take a look at some of the action in round number 6. And the punch that kind of hurt Ortega in the final round.
Right, just at the point I said Ortega would probably last the distance, this is what happened. You can see Ortega starts to slide on his legs, which there they go.
Straight left.
Yeah, yeah, that was the beginning of the end. And right now you can almost hear the cornermen coming up the ring steps. This is the last couple of punches of the fight. And yeah, certainly. I mean, it was a shutout to that point. Ortega showing no indication of winning the fight by knockout.
All right, let's get the official time of the stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, On the advice of the blue corner referee, Kenny Bayless stops the contest. Winner at 32 seconds of the 6th and final round, still undefeated from Limerick, Ireland, Andy Lee.
Andy Lee landed 49% of his punches, 155 of 315. Lee now 7-0, gets his 4th stoppage in his young professional career. So Wally, Andy Lee gets his 7th